Hey everybody, it's Andrea. I'm on a train right now, so this will be short, but I promised I would do it. I promised to the people who asked me to do it, but also to myself, I guess. There's probably like 5 people in the world who really listen to this, but one has to follow through on one's promises. Or does one? Maybe that's the question right now. I think life reacts, dances with us in ways that are very mysterious and that have a lot to do with how honestly we're living in our own emotions and life and thoughts. And I think it's a very challenging experience, and even more challenging when you're in a physical situation that's dangerous or difficult, or where people are just having more difficulty being kind to one another. But also, when you can be kind in those situations, it's amazing what it does. All right, there's the train. Something matters about the way we live and the way we see others as ourselves that is bigger than we can understand. I don't know what it is, but there's something to all of this that matters more than we even can imagine. And when we can be kind in situations where it's impossible, the situation changes for everyone who witnesses that. I've seen it happen in spaces like this train, and in airports, or just hearing people tell me something they witnessed or saw in some kind of space. But I want to read this quote because I think it has to do with the small things and how what we think is small is actually really big, and all this big stuff is actually only mattering because of the small things, like how we treat one another, and if we can follow through on what we say, which doesn't mean we can always do it, but at least trying, not just taking advantage of the situation. Anyway, small is beautiful, that's what came to mind, so I want to read this quote. It's from a book by EF Schumacher called Small is Beautiful: Economics as if People Mattered. The typical problems of life are insoluble on the level of being on which we normally find ourselves. How can one reconcile the demands of freedom and discipline in education? Countless mothers and teachers, in fact, do it, but no one can write down a solution. They do it by bringing into the situation a force that belongs to a higher level, where opposites are transcended, the power of love. Typical problems of life are insoluble on the level of being on which we normally find ourselves. How can one reconcile the demands of freedom and discipline in education? Countless mothers and teachers, in fact, do it, but no one can write down a solution. They do it by bringing into the situation a force that belongs to a higher level, where opposites are transcended, the power of love.